Alright, so today we're going to take a look at Exanima. This is Bread. Crispy is not with me today. She doesn't have a whole lot of interest in this game, but I'm going to show it off because it's one that I like very much, actually. So, I'm going to explain just a little bit before we jump in. It's a very physics-based game. So, like, if you were a character standing in this room right here that's showcased, you could trip over that stool. You could also pick it up, move it, knock stuff off the table, and throw it at an enemy even. I haven't had a lot of luck with that, but it is a thing that you can do. I'm going to jump into the arena just because it's easier to showcase the combat there. I'm going to continue. I already have a game existing here. So, in this, the first thing that I want to show you is the health bar. So the yellow represents basically non-lethal damage, whereas the red is physical damage. If you have been hit by the business end of the weapon, the blade, the point, you're going to take red damage. If you're hit by the haft, or if you're hit on armor that deflects it, you'll take stamina damage, the yellow damage, and that will come back quicker. If you're in the normal game, the only way to get rid of red damage is to actually find a healing item. The movement in this game is a little bit different from what you're used to. If you've been playing normal games over the last 10 years that aren't, non-indie games, and hell, even indie games I haven't encountered with a control system like this, this is going to be kind of alien to you. So your movement is based off of character facing, not the camera facing. So like right now, if I push W and move her forward, it is moving her based on her facing, not the camera. For just basic movement, I recommend using the mouse. If you right click and you're close to the character, you'll walk. Farther away, you'll run. The basic combat mechanics: once you press tab, you enter combat. I definitely recommend using the arrow keys or WAS and D for this. If you tap one of them, you'll make a slight step. If you push it and hold it, they will make a bigger step, but they're kind of off balance, as you can see. Left click does a normal attack. You want to left click and hold it to follow it through. Now you saw her do the 2 attacks. That is actually an ability I've learned. Normally you would just do that. If you just tap it, they'll kind of faint. If you click from the left, she'll attack from that direction. If you press Alt and left click, you'll stab. Everything is physics based. If you run into a wall, for example, you react with it. And your weapons can get caught on the walls and things too. That's why fighting in an enclosed space is usually a bad idea unless you're using a small weapon. I am going to jump right into a fight and show you the basic combat. So, in the arena, if they have a blue name, that's somebody that you don't control. The computer controls them. They're somebody that I've hired. If their name's not blue and I put them in, I control them. Rank bases what equipment you can use in that fight. You go up in rank by learning 2 skills. Every 2 skills takes you up a rank. That doesn't apply at all in the normal adventure part of the game, but it does here. I will jump into an inept elimination, which is a tournament, and we will show it off. Boom. Ow. Now, you'll notice before I had a sword in my hand, but because I entered a lower ranking fight, I have to use a lower ranking weapon. You can give them loadouts for each different rank in the arena. Now, I don't get to keep this weapon, but I am going to use it instead. So I can use it for the whole tournament, but at the end of the tournament it will be gone. Same for their armor if you wish to take their clothes, but you won't get them back. Talking about manipulating objects, there's not really much furniture I can show you here, but you can drag the corpses around. You can, take their belt, take their shoes, things of that nature. That comes into play more in the actual adventure. If you're not attacking, you're actively defending. So if I stand here and face him, she will defend on her own. You can also get caught up on each other, as you just saw. Or if I get backed into a corner, I can just kind of rush into him and drunkenly push him out of the way. This weapon is lighter than the one I was using before, so I'm a whole lot less likely to knock them down. And where you strike the enemy has an effect on how much damage you do. It's not something that it explains, but I think where you actually put the cursor is where you try to strike them. I haven't been able to confirm that. I haven't really looked it up, but I haven't been able to confirm it. But that's the way it seems to work when I do it. Like I'm kind of putting the cursor towards his head, and that's where I seem to be swinging. Whereas lower takes lower strikes at his legs, at his torso. Boom. Hook to the head. That'd probably do it. If they have a short weapon, you want to keep them away, because the business end of this is the hook. I can hit him with the haft, but it's not going to really hurt him much. If he hits me with that hammer, it will hurt a lot. And that is what an elimination looks like. So, as you can see, the physics of the game are a big part of it. Like, I can kind of shove you. I can hit you with a heavy weapon and it push you away. Like, the impact is what has an effect on how ragdolly it makes you when I hit you, and the weight. The balance is how quickly you recover from the swing. That's damage and damage. That's the rank of the match that it requires you to be in to use it, and that's how many points it counts for. So like a novice match is 15 points. Each equipment piece has points associated with it. That only matters in the arena, not in the adventure portion of this game at all. We will drop Crusher in here, and we will do an elimination. This guy's got Mace and Shield. It makes it much easier to defend. That white bar down there represents basically his stamina for the shield. How does that look compared to the mace? If you double click on an item, you can see what its effects are. It's got a little bit more. It does about the same damage, but most of it's pierce. Same thing for clothes. If you double click them, you can see their defenses and how much of your body they cover, as well as their encumbrance, if there is any. Ow. Oh, no. Stop hitting me. And Crusher has just died. I keep his equipment, but he is gone for good. Jade went up in level, so I will show you that. So every time you pick a new skill, it has a little experience bar that increases per combat. She has quite a lot already. Riposte makes it so that I can quickly follow a parry with an attack. That's how I'm quickly swinging in both directions with her. She can dual wield. And she can abandon an attack to quickly parry. I'll go ahead and learn Feint for her. She's also learned Deflection so that she can protect partially exposed parts of her body based on her armor. Tessa, this is the one that I don't control. In fights, I do not control her, but I do pick the equipment that she has and what skills she learns. This is another one of my characters that's fairly new. I'm setting her up to be a stabby character, giving her a pitchfork and a spear. Basically, I give each of these characters differing abilities, that way I can test them out. But Jace hasn't made it far enough to be able to use any of those weapons yet. Let's put Jace in an elimination. Well, I'd say he's not going to wake up for a while, if he wakes up at all. Get some. That last hit was purely luck where I hit her in the back of the head. That was not intended. And you see, she can't quickly swing from both directions because she hasn't learned that yet. I find aggression to be the best way to be in this game. You punish them and you don't stop punishing them. And when you design these characters and you pick their size, I feel like it plays a big part. Like, this character is almost as tall as she can be, whereas my manager, the character named Jade, is I think the starting size, or maybe a little bit taller. I haven't tried making smaller characters yet, but it seems like when I encounter smaller characters, I kind of crush them. Die! Die! Yeah, like that. Let's see if I can find a higher level fight and put Jade in it so that you can see a little bit of the weapons that are less improvised, I guess, would be more the way to... That one's a skirmish, and I have to put 2 computer-controlled people in, which I don't have. That one's in the adept tier, but it's a nipped rank. Let's put her in a challenger match and see. I think this is a loadout. Yeah, she's dual wielding. Why are you not wearing pants? Did I forget to put pants on you in this loadout? So challenger means I'm fighting someone much higher level than this character in most cases. Now, I've been beating the crap out of her, but as you can tell, her armor's taking most of it. If this character dies, I have to start all over in the arena. Whew. Okay. She needs some rest. I think that's enough to show off how the arena works, how the basic combat in this game works. The next time we pick it up, I'll take a look at starting a new adventure and show you the dungeon and what little bit, admittedly, I have learned in there. In it's you have to avoid combat at all costs. Like, you know, this red health in the arena comes back. Like every fight that I do with somebody else, she'll get some of that back. In the dungeon, you have to find potions to heal you that I haven't even encountered yet. So the fighting there is much more lethal than it is here. So it's a game like some of the other games I've played where you'll die and play it again and die and play it again, and you'll learn. You'll figure out, hey, I don't need to go in this room because there's a nasty guy in there and nothing to gain from it, and you'll continue to move on. But you keep the experience that you earn. So if you level up in the adventure, when you die and start again, you keep what you've leveled up. But we will take a look at that next time. You guys have a good evening.